Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Absolutely Not Podcast. I'm your host, Heather McMahan. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for bearing with us this week. You know, we had a little holiday weekend, so this is coming out a day late, but we also have a bonus episode this week, so shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? In the words of Taylor Swift, I don't want to hear all this bitching and complaining. I will burn this whole fucking thing down. No, I appreciate you guys giving us an extra day. Also, I'm coming off a gnarly Z-Pack. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but what doesn't kill you is essentially a sinus infection that I can't get rid of. Everyone has it. There's not a single person in my life right now who is just not riddled with mucus and a sinus headache and also bubble guts. So a lot going on here in the South. But I hope you had a gorgeous Memorial Day weekend. And again, thank you to everybody who served and, protects us, because I don't think you get told thank you enough. So, hey, everybody that we're memorizing, memorializing, thank you. Okay, that didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but I'm doing it with the utmost respect for the people who have served. Let's see. We're going to get into it. Of course, we're going to hit the voicemails this week, and I want to hear what y'all been up to. Dude, graduations are happening. I want to hear what happened at the barbecues. Let me know. You can always call into the hotline. God damn. Sorry about that. 800-213-7503. I am fighting for my life right now. Dude, I got a steroid pack and a Z-Pack 9 days ago, and I am still just dry heaving on phlegm, and it's not great. It's not great. It is not great. And if you're like me and you're a Z-Pack warrior and you were one of those kids who was consistently overprescribed antibiotics as a child, so you're basically antibiotic resistant, they got to give me the hard stuff and it just rips through my stomach. So I was, while I enjoyed the festivities at the pool, I also had to be that kid that sat under the umbrella this weekend a little bit too, because, you're not supposed to get in a pool if you've had diarrhea within 14 hours. And I was really rolling the dice, playing roulette with that one. But, had a great Memorial Day weekend, had all my friends over with their children. At one point, I counted there was 8 kids at my house, and that was a lot. So shout out to all the parents out there on lifeguard duty, out there running swim team. I know swim team is about to start, and let me tell you what, there is no better feeling. I was a country club kid growing up, okay? Yeah, I got it. But there was no better feeling than when your mom would drop you off at swim practice at 7 a.m. And it was like 93 degrees, 200% humidity at 7 a.m. She'd drop us. We'd go through those pearly gates of our country club. And it basically felt like I was going into Disney World every day. She'd drop our asses off at 7 a.m. We'd have swim practice till 9:30. Then I'd go do a quick rinse, change my clothes, and then hit the links for my junior golf tournaments, and my mom wouldn't pick me up till midnight, okay? Literally, the security guard would be locking it up, and then I'd hear Robin come skeeting around the corner in Little Sheba, which was our Saab that we drove. I've been very nostalgic about that Saab. I was thinking the other day, not that I want it. It is technically a collector's item. I know who has it, and I think I might give them an offer to buy it back. So stupid. I'm missing my dad a lot today and this week, and I think I need things that remind me of him, so I think I might buy this old Saab back. Anyways, I always knew, though, that I could hear my mom coming up the highway like 10 minutes before she even got to the curb. I could hear that Saab backfiring, because Robin was always a couple glasses of Chianti deep, and while she was great at driving a manual, she would backfire a lot. So you always heard that little Saab farting up the road, and I knew Mom was coming to get us. But man, there's nothing better than that core memory. You would get dropped off. The birds would be chirping. It would be 100 degrees. It would be 7 a.m. And you would eat every fucking meal at the club. Breakfast, lunch, 16 ice cream sandwiches, and dinner. And then you'd be lucky. I mean, you'd be lucky if your parents remembered to get you. I slept in a locker room, I think, once. Took a couple soft towels, just rolled them up, and slept in my Speedo. It is what it is, But that is the best feeling. And I can hear the kids. We live close to our country club. So I've been bopping up there and I see all the kids getting dropped off for swim team and I miss those days. And there was such a hierarchy between the swim team kids and the dive team kids. And there was always some crazy slut who did both. And we were like, okay, Raquel, okay. Now you got to go hang out with your dive friends. Good for you. I was not a diver. Asinine. You got to be an absolute jackass to jump off a high dive head first. Okay? Out of your mind. I was more of a butterfly kind of, relay, medley girly. I've talked so much about my years on the swim team, so I won't go into it too much. But man, I love seeing the kids getting dropped off for tennis camp. Dude, it is a season of camp. And shout out to all of my friends who had their kids signed up for summer camp in January. Because they were like, as soon as that bell hits 3:00, I got to know that these fuckers are going to another activity. I mean, I was with my friends' kids, and they're all young. I mean, the youngest is what, like 9? All of our friends' kids are fantastic, but it is a lot. It is a lot. I mean, at one point I had 3 kids on my shoulders. Meanwhile, I'm trying to warm up some barbecue in the kitchen. But what was really sweet, and I really did enjoy this moment, at the end of the day when all the kids were tuckered out, they all sat in the basement, all curled up together, all age ranges, and they watched Shrek, and that filled my heart with joy. So that brought me so much joy. Nothing brings people together like Shrek. You know what I mean? Nothing. And our friend's kid, Miller, so cute. I said, hey, Miller, who does Uncle Jeff look like? And he said, Shrek. And I said, that's what's up. Princess Fiona, your girl, right here. But I'm really curious how y'all's Memorial Day weekends happened. I feel like there's a lot of pressure with these 3-day weekends. Like if you don't have the plans, you know what I mean? If you waited to the last minute, or maybe you're just fucking exhausted and wanted to stay home. Like I've been an indoor kitty because I've been fighting this whatever. Everyone around us has been sick, so we're all just together. Like all the kids' noses were running. We were like, whatever. We just got a snotty compound. I mean, I got a saltwater pool, but we got to shock it after having 8 kids with runny noses in our pool. I'm going to get when like you're at the pool and there's a turd that gets loose, they got to shock it. I got to shock it just for the amount of children's mucus that is in my system right now. Anywho, but yeah, man, we had a great time. We had a really good time, but it was just me and 8 sick children who somehow had energy. We had a picnic in the yard. I had to lock up Riggs because he doesn't like children and was screaming the whole time. I mean, he was in his crate in my mom. We moved him upstairs to my mom's room, and you could still hear him screaming. He hears joy, and he's got to put a stop to it. But anyways, I just love that all my friends, they're like, no, these kids are doing craft camp. They're going to space camp. In the words of Raymond, medical camp. You know what I mean? Rollerblading camp, lacrosse camp, whatever. That's what my parents did. They kept us fucking busy. I don't think I saw my parents from like May 20th to August 3rd. I didn't see them. Unless on a Friday, my dad said, hop in the Lincoln Town car. We're going to Hilton Head. Dude, miss those Hilton Head days. Shout out to Hilton Head, South Carolina. Haven't been inside you in a minute. Hope the Alligator Grill's still open. That was a fun spot. Salty Dog Cafe? Yes, please. I've been very nostalgic about my dad. I don't know why I've had like multiple breakdowns this week about how much I miss him. I think it's because I've had some quiet time in the house, and I'm walking around a house that that it was our house growing up, and I was cleaning out my office last night, and I was listening to the Tortured Poet Society, weeping and Cloroxing and vacuuming and weeping and vacuuming and just high on bleach and other different types of cleaner. And I was just having this very nostalgic moment of, I think, the quietness of being in my home, the house I grew up in, the house where I lost my dad. It sometimes hits you. And I realized, they say, what is it? Idle minds do bad things. That's not the phrase, but you know what I'm saying. I think having a little quiet time in my brain and having time to sit in this house and sit in my dad's old office that is now my office, it hit me a little bit. And I have been on a high dose of steroids and Dayquil. That has also made me a little, ragey. So I'm definitely going through the anger stage of grief, even 10 years later. And don't worry. Oh, God, that water just went on my nose. Don't worry. Father's Day is coming up. Father's Day is coming up. And it'll be tough. But I will be packing for Italy. So everyone, suck my dick. If your dad's alive, enjoy it. Oh, God. I cannot wait to get to Italy. Little trip is planned. We actually just bought the flights. We have not even booked a single accommodation. But we're going over to Italy to shoot a little content for our buddy's place over there. He bought a villa, so we're going to go promote that. And then we're going to, bebop around. I got to see the sights. It was a very last minute trip planned. Everything is $7,000. It is so fucking expensive to go to Europe right now, but I'm doing it and I don't care. Live, laugh, love. I'll sell feet pics on the internet in a week. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care. Speaking of things that are too expensive, Target. You have lost your fucking mind. Your eye is not on the prize. I went the other day. Want a couple tchotchkes, wanted to tinker around, get a couple things. $165 fucking dollars for 2 nesting tables from Studio McGee? Are you out of your mind? You've lost it. While I do enjoy a good Target, you have lost it. I left angry. $165 at Target for a nesting table. This white woman says no. Unbelievable. What was I talking about earlier? Oh, I've had water on my lip that whole time. Okay, can't wait for that to be caught on camera. I'll tell you what. Having the pressure to have plans, though, on a Memorial Day, on a 4th of July, on a Labor Day, that is too much pressure. And I was home. I didn't want to go anywhere. I knew we were going to have friends over to the pool. I just wanted to chill. And seeing everybody on their beach trips or at the thing or seeing Taylor Swift in Lisbon or doing this, at one point I got really anxious, like I was missing out. Meanwhile, I needed the time to fucking relax and be in my home and just take a fucking break. And I was itching Sunday night before Memorial Day. I'm like, we should have planned a trip. We should have planned a trip. And Jeff is like, we have 25 fucking kids coming over tomorrow. Relax. But I panicked. I did. There's too much pressure on a 3-day weekend. And then Tuesday comes, you think it's Friday. You don't know what fucking day of the week it is. Enough. I'm confused. I'm hormonal and very confused. That's where I'm at emotionally. God, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyways, summer's here. It's fucking hotter than dick, okay? It is so hot. I did a full face beat. I curled my hair today, and there was no point. I'm wearing a black t-shirt and biking shorts, okay? The camel toe is it's intense right now. It's in the back of my throat. The camel toe is now cutting off my uvula. My vulva? No, my uvula. Your vulva's in there. My uvula has a camel toe. That's how much these bike shorts are up my vagina, okay? But I tried to look cute. I tried to do something. I love linen, but you got to press it, and I didn't have time to press it. So I just threw on this, and I'm very disappointed in my outfit right now, but here we are, okay? At least I got diamonds on. Man, I'm all over the place. Anyways, how did the graduations go? I hope they were great. Also another thing, people really put pressure on themselves to be at the graduations. Okay, listen, if little Timmy's graduating 6th grade, well, he should. I'm not going. Preschool, sure, because that's cute. 6th grade, get over yourself. Let me know when he's got a graduate degree. From Princeton, and he's doing something with his life. Right now, 6th grade, they're little assholes. Actually, they're probably nice kids. Regardless, so. You got the 5th grade, the 6th grade, whatever just happened to like junior high graduation, preschool graduation, and high school and college. Now everyone's got a 3rd grade graduation. What? It's just called summer break. I get a friend text me, hey, can you come to Annabelle's 1st grade graduation? Are we surprised that she made it through? I mean, this bitch is learning colors and basic reading. It's called you just go to second grade. Too many fucking graduations. You don't get to celebrate every grade. This is how it goes. First grade, the last 2 days is field day. We all fucking know this. And then the last day, you have a popsicle or an ice cream party. It's a half day. You don't do shit. You get gifts from your teachers. Then you bring a gift to your teacher. You pack up your little cubby. You take your artwork off the wall and you hit the road. And your parents drive your ass in a Suburban directly to summer camp because they don't want to deal with you. You don't get a cap and gown for first grade. You don't get a gift from your Aunt Chi-Chi for graduating the second grade. There's no graduation. You got to get through fifth. I mean, some of these text messages, are you coming? Are you coming to Jack's, fourth grade summer jamboree? No. I'm out here trying to make money so I can pay for the college fund that you'll eventually guilt me into investing in. No. Fourth grade summer jamboree. Too many people think that they're graduating. You haven't made it through yet. And those life lessons are just about to get started. Call me when you're 37 and you got to help your mom figure out how to do her fucking taxes because you got an attorney calling you. Okay? Not that she didn't do them, but they're not done. Okay? That's the point of the story. No, but really, truly, some of these graduations have gotten out of hand. And then I feel like the asshole that I can't carve out the time at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday when I'm supposed to be at work doing the podcast. Hey, can you come to Willow's pre-K graduation from her accelerated reading? I'm like, excuse me? That's very specific. And no, I cannot. I would love to. I'm there in spirit. But some of us got to go to work. I had a lot of girlfriends who work full time, and they're like, the expectations that these schools expect us to do, there's like you got to go to one. And if you have kids that are like one's in junior high and one's in elementary, forget it. Okay, you're already going to be the shittiest fucking parent because you can't drive across town. And some of these lunches, I got invited to a lunch. Some of these lunches start at like 9:30 in the morning. That's not a lunch. That's a breakfast. That's not even a brunch. Brunch doesn't even start till about 10:30, 11. They're guilting these parents. You got to be at the breakfast, lunch, brunch thing at 9:30 at this school. And then you got the special football jamboree. Football's a fall sport. Why are we doing it in May? You tell me. 6 fucking activities to wrap up the school year. Back in my day, you cleaned out your cubby. You got a thing of ice cream. Remember the ice cream that came in the little plastic thing? It was Mayfield. It was always Mayfield. And I always got the strawberry one. Came in the little plastic container. And it had the soft paper top, and you peeled that off, and there was a little wooden spoon, and those wooden spoons would literally not do shit to help you get the ice cream out. And you would dip the wooden spoon into the Mayfield, and you put it in your mouth, and as you would just drag your teeth along the wooden spoon to get the strawberry chunks, the freeze-dried strawberry chunks off the wooden spoon, and you'd have splinters in the top of your gums, and it was the greatest feeling in the world because you were sitting at carpool like, I won't see these fuckers for another 2 months. See ya. Bye, Miss Chastain. Bye. That was the best fucking feeling. I told y'all about this a while ago, and I'm just going to refresh you. Speaking of ice cream, I won a coloring contest in the second grade. And if you've already heard the story, I apologize. I won a coloring contest for the lunchroom. And I remember specifically, you had to color, we had these characters, like there was little stations in the lunchroom, right? And they had these like little characters, kind of like Sesame Street characters where like, if you sat at the not Groucho, Grouchy? Who's, say Big Bird. Sorry, the Grouch? Oscar the Grouch. Wow. I couldn't remember Oscar the Grouch. So if you were like at the Oscar the Grouch area, right, you sat at the green table, all right? And so that's how all these little elementary school kids could stay organized. So I colored Oscar the Grouch and I won. And they gave me 2 fudge sickles. And they called me up on the microphone in the lunchroom and they said, Heather, you won. So I got 2 fudge sickles. What does one do with a second fudge sickle? Either eats it or gives it to a friend. I had just had about 16 Nutter Butter bars at lunch. So I said, you know what? In order for me not to shit myself in my duck head shorts, I'm going to save these fudge sickles for later. I put them in my book bag. And when the bell rang to leave for carpool that day, I picked up my red JanSport book bag, put it over my shoulders, and as soon as the book bag hit the bottom mid part of my back, those fudge sickles just started dripping all the way through the JanSport because, they had melted. That's the kind of kid I was in the 2nd grade. I was like, let me save these 2 fudge sickles for my fat ass later. They melt, Heather. They melted through the plastic, through the canvas JanSport. They melted. So here I was now. It looked like I had doo-doo running down the back of my legs. And my red JanSport, I'm walking out innocently enough out to carpool. And my best friend Annie goes, Heather, no. And it all happened in slow motion. And then Mary Beth was there and she was like, no. And we all looked and it looked like I had diarrhea down my duckhead shorts. I had not. It was the melted fudgesicles I was trying to save for an after-school snack. All right, my heart was in the right place, but my mind wasn't fully developed. So then I had to explain to everybody at carpool I hadn't shat myself. All right? I don't know why. I'm really just triggered by all these end of the school year ice cream parties. I'll never forget that. That is such a core memory for me. And I got in the car, and Annie and Mary are trying to get the fudge off the back of my legs, and it's just running into my kids. And I'm like, I swear I didn't shit myself. And I remember my teacher laughing so hard, and she asked me, she's like, Heather, what did you think was going to happen with the fudge sickles? I was like, I just wanted 2 for after school. She's like, oh, God. Listen, I was in advanced reading and language, but some of the other classes were tough, like basic life skills. Oh, God. Speaking of basic life skills, it is very triggering for me when people insult other people's intelligence because I always growing up, I was told I was stupid or whatever from my family. But anyways, I was at, I had to catch myself today. I was at one of my local favorite little spots. They had a new gal working the desk, and I was getting a breakfast sandwich and a nice coffee. And I must have said almond milk 16 times, and this woman's making an oat latte. I said cold brew, just with a little almond, and she was just pouring the oat. And I had to stop myself from being a judgmental elitist bitch, and I caught myself. But I walked out of that store and I said, that's not what I ordered, but I just sucked it up. Because she had to fix it multiple times, and I just said, enough. But I said, you know what? Remembering the mistakes that I made as a kid. This, everybody's starting their summer job too. This girl probably wasn't older than maybe 17. And I wanted to say, you know what? We're just not going to make a scene about it. We're not going to make a scene. We're just going to put a smile on our face and we're going to wolf down this whole jug of just oat milk that's going to make me shit myself in a minute. That's nothing better, too, than knowing everyone's about to start their summer jobs. You know what I mean? The kids come back. The high schoolers doing the lifeguarding. They're running the camps. You know what I mean? They're working at the local ice cream shop. But be patient. Be patient with the youth. Remember, they're only looking at TikTok. They're not out there doing arithmetic, Common Core math. They're not learning how to build a railroad or, rewire some electrical outlets like we were back in our day, okay? So just bear with them. You know what I mean? They don't know how to make eye contact. They're really struggling. So bear with, if you're going into your local coffee shop and you see a new face there, and you've asked the girl for just a cold brew with a splash of almond milk, and she's made you a mocha whip frap, double caloric intake than you asked for, you take it and you say, you know what? Hey, you know what, Jordan? Jordan, was it Jordan? Jordan, congratulations on graduating the 10th grade. Have a beautiful, beautiful summer. And you tip her $2 because she is fighting for her life. And that is also this generation. Okay? You get a ribbon for passing the 9th grade. Call me when you've survived 4 years of high school. Call me. I will be at the high school graduation with a pack of Natty Lights ready to rage. And I will not tell your parents. But do not call me when you've graduated 9th grade. You didn't graduate. You just finished the school year. You passed your exams. It's a wrap. You just got released from prison for summer break. This was not a graduation. Y'all are out of your minds. But I did have to catch myself. I said, Heather, you were 16 once, 15 once. You had every summer job. Be patient. And I just said, thank you. This is perfect. And I tipped her. And I said, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be that old, crow's nest. Crow's feet. What am I talking about? Crow's feet. See, my coffee wasn't properly prepared. So therefore, I'm not running with full cylinders, okay? I basically put cheap ethanol into the tank when I'm a diesel bitch, okay? So that's why this podcast is not as crisp as it usually is. I'm coming off a Z-Pack. My steroids have worn off, and I just chugged a milkshake full of bullshit instead of getting my usual zippy cold brew. But you got to be patient. These kids are out here. Hey, I'd rather the kids, I had a summer job. All these kids who didn't have a summer job, give your kids a summer job. I think that's why my husband and I, too, get along so well, as we always had summer jobs. Or you were at camp. You were doing an activity. You were training for a sport. You were tap dancing. I was at theater camp, or I was babysitting, or running some sort of, I don't know. You were running some sort of business. Jeff has caddied his entire life. He did construction with his dad. He did a car wash, whatever it was. So I'm not going to yell at the kid who can't figure out how to get my order right. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to tip well, and I'm going to teach him about the stock market. Okay, fantastic. What am I talking about? But I had to catch myself today. I wasn't feeling good. I'd had a meltdown about missing my dad. And I was like, this poor girl who's just trying to figure out how to make a fucking cold brew, which all you got to do is just pour it from the jug that says cold brew. I don't need to give her an earful. I don't need to be cunty. I don't need a bitch. That's not in my character. I'm just emotionally going through it right now. I miss my dead father, and I don't need to unleash all of that trauma and baggage on her. You know what I mean? I don't. I looked her in the eyes and I said, Isabel, thank you for this beautiful sweet treat. Have a blessed day. And then I got in my car and I screamed. Okay, let's get into the voicemails. I want to hear what you guys are up to this Memorial Day weekend. I want to hear what you're going to be up to this summer. Let me know where are we going? Where are we vacationing? And if anybody has tickets to Taylor Swift in Europe, I would love to go. So let me know where we're going. And I'll buy us, empanadas. I don't know. Where are we going? Where's she playing? I'll buy us some pie mash. We going to Wimbledon, O2 Arena, whatever it is. Where are we going? Treats are on me, girls. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see the T Swift. I'd like to see a bitch who works harder than me. I don't believe it, but let's see. Let's get into the voicemails. As always, you can call in 800-213-7503. Thank you for going down memory lane with me today, and thank you for letting me spiral. Here we go.
Hi, Heather. It's your girl, Sarah, from St. Louis, Missouri.
What's up?
Just an absolutely yes for end of school year. I love a good, wholesome senior prank. I am a high school teacher, and I look forward to it every year when they do a really good senior prank. One year, we have a huge, huge school that I work in, almost 2,000 kids, and they took every single chair out of the building. Every chair, teacher, kid, every chair. We walked in, no chair. Like, hilarious. Another year, they brought all their pets one day. I mean, in one of my classes, I had puppies, I had a pig, I had a freaking peacock in there.
Yeah.
Love it. Best day of my life. Love a good senior prank. Love and light. Bye.
I love a prank. Y'all know oh man, I get in so much trouble pranking people in the summer. I love a wholesome prank. Rut row, we put all the chairs on the front lawn of the school. What are we going to do? Wholesome. Somebody brought their kitty cat to biology class. What are we going to do? Wholesome. Guarantee if you ask these kids nowadays, they'll call it a bomb threat. That's not a prank. That's a terrorist attack. Wholesome. Wholesome. Everybody, I remember one year, I think everybody dressed up as our principal. We're crazy. We're out of control. And he didn't even realize it till the fifth period of the day. No one was in uniform. We were all just dressed like a 60-year-old man. Wholesome senior pranks. You leave it up to these kids these days. I don't want to know what the pranks are. Out of control. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, all right, guys, I figured out a prank we can do. Here's the deal. What we're going to do is we're going to prank Mr. Johnson, and we're going to get a VPN. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect that VPN. And my cousin, who goes to MIT, is a hacker. He's going to somehow hack Mr. Johnson's school computer to the dark web. And we're going to look up some crazy illegal shit. And then we're going to flag it for the school. And the next thing you know, they're going to think that Mr. Johnson is doing dark shit on the dark web. But really, it's just my fucking cousin at MIT. He's literally been high for the last semester. But we're going to fuck him up. And it's going to be a prank. It's going to be so funny. You're like, no, you just ruined this man's life. You know what I mean? A school prank. Toilet papering the rival high school's entryway. We did senior pranks where we would do junior senior wars, where we would toilet paper all the junior kids' houses. And the way my dad scared everybody off, because I'm a night owl, so my dad and I were up. My dad had a CPAP machine, and he was a heavy-set dude. So he would stand. We had this side door, and my dad would stay up, and he'd get high, and he'd be in the kitchen eating Ruffles, drinking Diet Cokes, and a little French onion dip, and he would have a CPAP machine next to the chair on the porch. He'd be out there smoking a cig, whatever, smoking weed, and then when I would be like, hey, the kids are rolling up, he would stand in the window with the CPAP machine on, and the outdoor lights would just hit him perfectly, and those kids would fucking scream. They would run. Now, we lived in a gated neighborhood, so you already had your first line of defense, but if you don't think everybody fucking knew that code, dude, everybody knew that code. We did get our house egged once, and I do remember my mom being viscerally angry about it. Physically shaking in the kitchen about it, but I was like, Mom, quit being such a twat. Yeah, wholesome pranks. There was nothing better. A little toilet paper roll. Now, if you leave it up to this generation, they'll send somebody to prison. He's innocent. He didn't do it. Dude, remember? And if you went to school, there was always a public school somewhere in kind of the boonies that would get a cow on the second floor. Because the rumor was that cows can walk up the stairs, but they can't go down the stairs. I'll never forget that. They were like, y'all hear what happened at Dalton High School? They put a heifer on the second floor outside of the chem lab. They can't get her off. Gonna have to shoot her through the roof. I just always remember hearing that shit. This sounds like I grew up in the 40s. I did not. Okay, I graduated high school 2005. Solid year. Early 2000s was epic. And you know what we did? We had one fucking graduation. This younger generation needs a ribbon, needs a participation for showing up to third grade. You have a movie day, the last day if it's too hot to go outside. And the blacktop, the tarmac outside of the recess, the playground, if it was too hot, if we were in a heat warning, you stayed inside, you made popcorn, and you watched a movie for the half day, and your parents picked you up at 11:59, and it was the fucking best. Dude, field day was so much fun. And as a chubby, I would say naturally athletic, I've got great hand-eye coordination, but maybe not necessarily had the skills or the tools to do a lot of the field day stuff, like the egg toss I was great with. All right, steady hand. Any sort of aquatic water balloon situation, nailed it. But if it was like an agility drill, like if you had to do like the 50-yard dash or some sort of medley, a relay, that wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? We used to have to do this thing called jump rope for heart, and that was so, oh my God, and you have to get signatures, and it was all about heart health, and you had to do all this fucking jump roping and all this bullshit. And I remember just thinking, I was in the 5th grade and my tits were already too big for the jump rope. And I remember going out to the PE teacher going, are we done with this? Okay, it's clear. Like, I passed the presidential test. I can touch my toes. I can walk a mile. I'm not fucking jump roping for heart. All right, I'm in the 5th grade and my tits are hitting me in the face. Leave me alone, sir. And he was like, yeah, you're excused. Dude, school pranks were so much fun. What other school pranks did we do? It was just fun. It was innocent. You put a whoopee cushion down on your teacher's seat. Nothing better. Oh my God. Also, remember that feeling of like if a teacher farted in class and you were if you're a teacher and you fart in class, just go ahead and jump out the window. There could be nothing more embarrassing than exposing yourself like that. Oh my God. We had that was great. That when you broke the 4th wall in a class because your grown ass teacher couldn't hold their shit together, nothing better. Nothing better. Wholesome prank. A wholesome freaking prank. I miss it. You know what I mean? I want to bring wholesome pranks back. Y'all call in and let me know what your favorite wholesome prank was. Let's get to the next voicemail.
Hey, Heather. This is Sarah from Boston. I saw you mentioned that you were looking for graduation-specific absolutely nots in your episode this week. So I just wanted to let you know that I attended a law school graduation. No, it wasn't for kindergartners, but still just as entertaining. And they had this one professor who I guess was voted the most liked professor by all the students. So he gets up there and he's like, so instead of saying how much I care about you and how I feel, why say it when it can be sung? And then literally I heard a chord and I was like, oh no, he's doing it. And I saw this student was on stage sitting at an electric piano and I realized he is going to sing. And I was like, what is he going to sing? And then he was like, in our lives, something, something, something. And I just knew oh God, this is that song from Wicked. And he sang the entire what is it? I Have Been Changed for Good song from Wicked, beginning to end, tip to taint, the whole song. I thought maybe he'd sing a stanza or he'd give us just a little razzmatazz and move on. No, he didn't give a speech. He just sang and it was I'm out. And now I'm man, anytime I have to give a speech, should I just sing a song, sing someone else's words? But it was honestly one of the most challenging moments for me because I had to not laugh and take it seriously. But I had to be thinking I was thinking about all the law students, what the fuck are they thinking? They just spent 3 years getting a law degree. Now this guy's singing Wicked to them. I don't know. It was a mind fuck. It was very interesting. I just thought, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
This is great. Thank you so much for calling in with this. Just as I think there are too many graduations, there's also these programs are far too fucking long. Can you imagine, like you just said, ma'am, can you imagine being a law school student? Okay, here's the bullshit about law school too. You have to study, you have to keep the grades. It's almost impossible to get past your first year of law school. Then after you've done the finals, you graduate from law school, then you have to spend your fucking summer instead of going to Ibiza and celebrating. You got to sit for the bar exam that's usually, I think, at the end of July or August. So you didn't do enough during law school to pass. Now you also have to sit for a state accredited test, which is I think my sister's an attorney. I remember she studied for literally 3 months straight. We did not see her. At one point, I had to drop off Mountain Dew and crystal meth outside of her door with 2-foot-long sandwiches, and she peered through the door and was like, I've got 2 more weeks. You know what I mean? It's not even enough just to graduate. Then you have to then sit for the bar exam, and you got this asshole up there singing, I want to be popular. No, you don't get to hit a Kristen Chenoweth original when these kids are out here sitting in an open air field just sweating in black cloaks. There's probably 2,000 of them. They're all also sitting out there calculating how the fuck they're going to pay off this law school debt, knowing that they have one afternoon to go to a cheesecake factory with their families to celebrate, and then they got to lock themselves in their graduate apartment for the next 2 months studying for the bar. Listen, I'm surrounded by a lot of attorneys. I've never met an attorney who loves being an attorney. Okay, let's just be honest. So if you're thinking about going to law school right now, I'm going to tell you right now, don't do it. Do not do it. It's too much pressure. It's too hard. It's too hard. Medical school's another one. Could you imagine how pissed you'd be? You're at your medical school graduation and you got some asshole singing Mamma Mia. It's time to graduate. Bye-bye. See you never. Like whatever the rendition is. Also, if the professor did not change the lyrics and at least put in the maximum amount of effort to write a remix and he's just singing with songs from Wicked, what does that have to do with your education? I love when somebody takes an original Broadway hit, changes the lyrics, and I'm sitting there in my cap and gown just going, Mamma Mia, we got to take the bar exam. You know, I don't know. I'm bebopping. I'm giggling. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. But this guy just sang Wicked? Tell me how that makes sense. You know, Hamilton, maybe even saying Hamilton would make a little bit more sense. At least that's about some legal dispute and our forefathers. You got a lot of fucking nerd to be singing Wicked at a law school graduation. My sister will talk to, interns or young attorneys, and they're like, I'm thinking about going to law school, or like family friends. She's like, don't do it. It's too dark. Don't do it. I really do think, listen, doctors, medical school kids, they already have enough. But attorneys, you really get the short end of the stick. Because you graduate and then literally have to put yourself in a cave somewhere with enough methamphetamines and note cards and highlighters to study to then maybe get a job as an attorney. If nothing's guaranteed, guys, I hope I'm not shitting on everyone's graduation, but that is ridiculous. Also, let's just talk about some of these graduation speeches. First of all, the Kansas City guy, what an asshole. What an asshole. I know this has been touched on a million times. I'm like 3 weeks too late, so I'm not going to really get into it, but what an asshole. Could you imagine just sitting there as a young woman at this, Catholic university, and you just studied metaphysics? I don't know if they have metaphysics at a Catholic university, but you're just sitting there and you're like, I got a biology degree, or maybe I want to go into marketing, and this guy's just like, don't you want to get married? No, I do not. I do not. I don't want to take care of somebody else. I'm trying to take care of myself at this moment. What an asshole. What an absolute asshole. And then sometimes I don't understand why they pick certain people to do these commencement speeches. Why have I not been asked? I would come out there. First of all, if you wanted me to sing Broadway, I would, but I'd change the lyrics and really make it fucking tongue in cheek. Second of all, I'd give solid life advice. Okay, let's do a little mock commencement speech. Dear graduates, welcome to the rest of your life. I might have pyrotechnics, and then that's when flames would go up. And then somehow sparklers would just say 2024 in the back. Okay? I'd be in a full leather outfit. I'd somehow get one of those commencement gowns, but it'd be leather and sparkles and fringe. And I'd have on a tiara. Don't ask why. I just feel like it. But let me tell you what they're not going to tell you. First of all, immediately, before you even get to the Cheesecake Factory to celebrate with your aunt and uncle that you really don't ever see but twice a year, I want you to go ahead and sign up for a Roth IRA. Because you're going to have a midlife crisis in about 25 years, and you can cash out some of it, not all of it, but some of it, without a penalty. You know what I mean? I would tell you about investments. Look for a rental property. The market's hot right now. It would be that kind of advice. Not go out into the world. See the world. Be you. No, these are all terrible. I would be giving you a PowerPoint presentation with pyro, graphics. We'd have tap dancers on stage, topless. Keep the guys interested. This is where you need to invest. Also, do you know that you need methylated B12? If your legs ever start to cramp, it's because you need potassium. Pow, pow, pow. And it would just be such a show, a spectacle. And you'd be sitting there like with your quill, your little ink pen, just like, okay, I need potassium. I'm actually, a hangover is you're not actually thirsty. You're just low on salts. Okay. Look, I would give you real life advice. Real life advice. Go ahead and get a life insurance policy right now while you still can. Because you're going to hit your 40s and you're going to go, oh, fuck. I want to have children late in life, but I need a life insurance policy. And they're not going to give you one because you have a bad back. Like, I would let you guys fucking know what's good. I mean, I like the funny commencement speeches, but it's really wild to me when some of these asshole celebrities get up there and they want to just tell you, look for the joy in every moment. No. Open a Roth IRA. I would tell you life is short. And don't be a cunt to your parents, but it is what it is. All right, let's get to the next voicemail.
Hey, girl. I'm just here listening to your podcast talking about graduations and wanting to hear people's statements and how it's going. I have an absolutely not for you.
Okay.
As an educator of the youth. First of all, bless all your children's hearts, but absolutely not to the remaining days of school.
Yeah.
My mental capacity cannot handle it. I know these parents are dreading having their children at home, but it's time for me to go to the beach.
Yeah.
That's what it's absolutely time for.
Okay, I hear you. And shout out to every educator out there who is doing the Lord's work. I do have to say something a little controversial, though. Y'all get summer break. You do get Christmas break. You get winter break. You get fall break. You get spring break. Y'all get a lot of breaks. And I know the educators are going to say, well, we still have to do paperwork in the summer, but you could be by the pool. You know what I mean? You could be by the pool. Listen, I hear you. And it is time for the beach. You deserve to have your toes in the sand, cool glass of alcohol in your right hand, listen to Jimmy Buffett on 30A. You deserve that, sir. But it is pretty funny. And I know being an educator is the hardest job in the world. I am not shitting on it. I think, thank you for doing the Lord's work. But I do find it a little funny when the teachers have summer break. You know who else would like summer break? Everybody else. I'm stirring the pot. I'm just being a bitch. You know what I mean? I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. Yeah. Summer break. I mean, I already told y'all I kind of run my business like a summer break. I'm like, okay, we're out for school. We're out for summer. Bye. See ya. No, you guys do deserve a break. You absolutely deserve a break. You're dealing with hormonal kids, sick children. I mean, to be an educator, I don't know how you do it and not just end up in a hyperbaric chamber for the months of June and July, just putting yourself back together. This is why I feel like shit, because a body in motion stays in motion. And as soon as I had, 3 days to sit on the couch and collect my thoughts, that's when I got sick. Literally, my doctor was like, Heather, every time you get a break, a physical break from running around, traveling, doing whatever, that's when you get ill. And he's right. It's 100%. My body shuts down when my brain turns off. That's why I got to do Sudoku to stay healthy. I will say, though, the teachers, y'all deserve a break. You absolutely do. But, you really love to just do a light brag around, I don't know, the end of June. And you're out there, you're doing your daily errands. I always see y'all at a TJ Maxx at 2 p.m. And you're like, oh, yeah, no, we don't start school again until after Labor Day. So, yeah, I mean, I'm doing, I'm still doing some admin stuff, but I'm going to take a couple trips. You guys get a nice little chunk of time. And yeah, summers go by quick. But you get your sweet revenge. You get your nice little chunk of time, and then you sick these kids with some fucking summer reading at the last minute just to really fuck with the parents. Listen, we had Joe Dombrowski on this podcast, and he and I laughed our asses off because he used to be a teacher. And we talk about, I will always be on the side of the teacher, but y'all do get a summer break. I don't want to hear it. It is time for the beach. But I'm just saying. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just starting a fight right now. I love it. Yeah. But it is funny when you had friends that were teachers. And then they're just like off for 2 months. And you're like, what? Okay. Okay. All right, let me see how that works. I'll just tell you right now, though, I probably would have been a horrible teacher. No, I'd be a teacher. I would. But I would just, I'm like, can we, every class would be outside. Again, I don't want to get into the Montessori thing, but I'd be a Montessori girly. I'd be like, what do we feel like doing? Oh, we feel like sitting in a Banana Republic today and learning about history. That sounds cozy. I don't think there'd be any discipline there. Or maybe there would be. I don't know. We've been at home with the dogs and I've been taking them for walks, and I'm starting to realize that I don't know if this is like a foreshadowing for how I'll be as a parent with my relationship with Jeff, but he always jokes. He's like, oh, you're going to be bad cop. I can already tell you're going to be strict bad cop. And I'm like, I will be fucking fun cop. I am fun. I am so fun. I am the fun one. But I have a feeling I might end up being bad cop. Listen, maybe I start a summer camp. I don't know. Maybe I start a summer camp where I teach kids about health insurance, Roth IRA, and then we go water skiing. I don't know what it is. I don't know. There's got to be a mixture of the two. You got to be able to learn a little and love a lot. I don't know. I love that I just called out the teachers for having 2 months off. We always had that one teacher friend who always just really, come the middle of July, she's like, I'm in Portugal. And you're like, okay, bitch, I'm in the office in a 3-piece suit and this fucking printer's out of ink and I don't know how to fix it. Stop it. I get it. You deal with kids. School is hard. The hours are long, but we get it. You're in Portugal. Speaking of Portugal, I'd die to go see Taylor Swift there, but I think we just missed it. All right, let's get to the next voicemail. I know I'm going to start a fight with that one. Let's see.
Well, I hope that Jeff lives a long and healthy and vibrant life. With that said, I'm also throwing in my hat to be your future life partner in 30 years. We'll play pickleball every afternoon on some Snoop gummies. I'll do you one even better. We live in Italy. I'll make olive oil fresh from, I don't know how you make that. I don't know. Does that come out? Am I putting a little spout in a tree like sap?
Yeah.
I have no idea, but I'll figure it out. And we have time. You can pick up hobbies that you go gung-ho for every other week and then promptly forget about them. We spend loads of money and waste it. We'll have a woodworker station in our basement. You can be developing photos in a makeshift darkroom in the pantry. You'll have some form of pottery going on. We'll just have really funny friends. Who am I kidding? We will be the funny friends. And absolutely not to us wearing any Winnie the Pooh or any Disney clothing or having more than 2 cats. Unless they're strays, and we call them Mr. Chip, Putter, and Big Bertha. Also, absolutely not to having any Southwestern decor or dream catchers anywhere in the house or your car, or a tattoo on your body, unless you already have one. And if so, that must have been a really good drunk night. Absolutely yes to running with scissors, if you know what I mean, and also cucumber gardens, if you know what I mean.
Oh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what that was, but I think it was a lesbian proposal. And you know what? Sister friend, I accept. Wow. Very specific. I love that you didn't leave any information about yourself except you live in Italy. And this all sounds good to me. I'm in. And I love that you specified we would not be wearing any sort of Disney or Looney Tunes or Tweety Bird or Winnie the Pooh, memorabilia as adults. I don't know when that fucking started. But when you see a grown adult wearing a Winnie the Pooh t-shirt, enough. Did I love the Animaniacs growing up? I did. But you know what I'm not doing? Wearing it on a sweatshirt at 37. And I don't know, ma'am, you're clearly a lesbian. Is that, I've never really realized that trend amongst lesbians. But if that's a trend, then gals, we got to stop it. That's out of control. I love what you said. I'm into it. You said I could have a dark room and get into photography. Fantastic. I think everything's digital now, but I love this idea. We'd have a woodworking station. Great. I'm kind of afraid of table saws. I follow a lot of those DIY accounts where it's like women building, a new armoire. It's always a woman going like, I went to Restoration Hardware and it was like going to be $65,000 to build the furniture for my bedroom that I wanted. So instead, I went out, bought a table saw, 65 other saws, 95, guns, staple guns, and I figured out I could do it myself. And I watched these 10-minute videos on TikTok of these women cutting the wood, splicing it together, sanding it, staining it, putting it together, building the couch cushions out of foam and outdoor performance fabric. And I watch them build these patio sets and I think that looks dangerous. Good for them, but I don't think I am going to enjoy the woodworking station. But babe, if you want to be our little woodworker, you got it, girl. How'd you know I'd be into photography? I love that you said we could have a little dark room in the castle. That's what I want. I want a little dark room to go work on my Polaroids. Wow. That was kind of very specific, also very nonchalant at the same time. I don't know who you are, but that's kind of what's exciting about it. A little international love connection. And I'm going to be in Italy in like 3 weeks. So come find me, bitch. Okay? Stop. I'm blushing. What have we done today? We've said that graduations are enough. Too much. You're out of your mind. I said all these commencement speeches are just out of fucking control. I feel bad for attorneys and law school students. The teachers also need to fucking relax with the summer break. And I also just got proposed to. And if that is not a full circle episode, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? I'm leaving it. My heart is full. I'm a little fearful for the rage I'm going to get from some parents and I'm sure some educators. I'm nervous and excited. I've got butterflies and fear at the same time. And that is one of the beautiful things about this podcast. You never know what you're going to get. And you never know what kind of antihistamine I'm going to be on. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving me and letting me love you. I'm sorry, guys. I really am high as a kite on Day Cool today. But we went through it. We got through it. We went through a lot. And I really enjoy these solo episodes because it's just fucking insane. It's unhinged in the best way. And I hope you enjoy them too. I love you. I mean it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this sexy lesbian proposal. I am in. And if I'm at Six Flags this summer and I see two heavy-set broads in Tweety Bird t-shirts, I will call the fucking police. No matter how legal your nuptials are, that is unacceptable. From one future lesbian to another, enough. Out of your minds. Love is love. Love is great. Summer has started. Drive those fucking kids to camp. Teachers, take your tops off. I'll see you in Panama City Beach, baby. Let me know who wants to go to the Taylor Swift concert. Slide my DMs and get excited because we're going to have another bonus episode that's going to come out this week too. That's just going to be hot takes. You guys hit me with a sizzler of y'all hit me with so many questions. So you wanted my hot takes on things. So we're going to play a little catch up on another little bonus episode. So look out for that this week. I love you. I mean it. I'll see you on the next episode. Again, you can always call into the hotline, 800-213-7503. Ciao, Bella. Arrivederci.